Hello there, greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's communication. It would just be a short. All of these have been short recently. Eventually I'll do a longer one, but I'm working up to it. So waiting for YouTube to come to life. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, for those that greetings, MT, greetings. All right. For this broadcast, let's see. For those that submitted a question through the site, I am now, I think, partially on Wednesday and now I'm on Saturday, so won't be able to answer anything tomorrow night, but Wednesday I'll do what I can. Definitely catch up on Thursday for sure. So, that's my week is already planned out. So, all right, thank you for joining us. Yeah, tonight's episode is about Martian, and Illuminati. I'm only going to go into I've gone to this before, but I've gotten a little bit more details of it, and more details will come into also for the angels of how angels. Another way to connect with angels is not to have the religious stuff connected to them. Not to say many do that. At least those in the spiritual community, like with the wings. I mean, you can see them with the wings, but I believe in future channelings, more is going to come through as for the angels, as for how they like to be depicted or how they are, basically, without all the religion energies there. Go into more detail. Here, not so much. We will eventually we're building up towards that. Because that's basically what we're going to go into, more understanding of Michael and all the angels. Okay, I'm not going to go eat through each one, but give you more indication of why they are here. Of course, you can always connect with it on your own. Of course, everybody has their own version of which is fine, of your connection, of your angel connections, your what you feel from that vibration. As for tonight's episode is about the Martian, Mars, Illuminati, basically. The Martian that's on the planet right now, Mars is, yes, very much of the mind control vibrations here. Of course, they don't think very highly of humans, at least our version of it. And I've gotten a slight download. I believe more will come through. What I picked up, also the Black Magician is very much, Project Camelot's brought it up, the Black Magician, even the Black, not so much the Black Pope, but the Black Magician is very much part of basically the Cabal, very connected to Mars, Martian, basically. Magician, Mars, I'm not sure if that has any true connection there, but either way, it's your highly advanced Martian that, like David Icke connects to reptilians and talks about them and goes on and on. Well, the Martians are very much here, but let me tell you, voice swaps from my opinion, like I said, I've mentioned this before, but over time we'll go into more detail. It's only so much I'm picking up on. It seems like I'm getting a little bit more detail. They don't like showing their faces. Now, they don't like showing themselves, period, but their faces definitely want to keep hidden. So, and it's interesting, like with the Arab world, how females have to cover up all the time. That's kind of fascinating. So I believe that is very Martian influence there too, is that they don't want the feminine energies to have any power whatsoever here. They realize the more feminine becomes more stronger, they lose their power, or it becomes more equal, and still they can't have their power. So as we're going through our awakening understanding, now the Martians like to keep themselves hidden all the way around, so that's why I have not really brought in a whole lot. Now David Wilcock, I'll give him credit. That's where I got. That's where he mentioned that. I listened to a video, like I was on a road trip from somewhere. I forgot where. It was in June. I remember my car breaking down after that. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I had any connection to that, but either way, he did mention the Martian and Illuminati, And that's why I titled this also, because the Martians are definitely here for sure. They don't like being seen. They don't show up very often either, at least around individuals, but they are part of the main plan of our planet. At least that's what I'm getting. Go by what you're feeling, of course. There's much more and go on and on and on. The Martian, of course, you hear about the Archon, but the Martian is definitely a pain here. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's part of the healing process of understanding what's going on here. They are part of the dark cabal. They keep themselves well hidden, as I said. Also have an image of what image, not to say they don't all look like this, but of always one depiction of kind of what they look like. Well, some of them, at least, not all of them. As I said, they do look kind of strange looking, um, kind of like a squashed face. Some of them, but I don't know. It's they're different types. It's more cartoonish, I guess you can say. As for faces, this one I'm picking up on. I haven't got a clear indication out of it. As I say, they like to hide themselves often. So as we go into our awakening vibrations, we connect more with who's running the show. You might see them, you might feel them. There are positive ones here, of course. You might pick up on them. Some of them are like very tall, like in jumpsuits, like the space jumpsuits. Very, very quiet though. They don't want to interfere with us too much. They just, they just. I mean, they are assisting, but it seems like mostly the Martians are mostly positive ones involved in the government system of releasing, our the hold on us. So they battle a lot of their own species basically, and other species. It's just like a big, also communication gets lost in translation. It seems, especially with the Martians, like we're here to help, and then it gets translated, you're not here to help, or something like that. And so they have like it does seem like they have a language barrier going on there, at least from what I'm picking up on. It's not always the case, but it does cause difficulties. They're not always trusted either. You always hear about the Zetas not being trusted, but what about the Martians that you would never hear about? Well, they're not trusted either, from what I'm gathering. At least, of course, that's not part of our pop culture. The reptilians are part of the pop culture. Of course, the Martians should be very much involved with it too. But as for where like their history and all that eventually will come through, it's slowly, at least I'm allowed to slowly get a little bit more indication. I'm not going to go into it tonight, but we'll go into a little bit more of it as we progress throughout uh, this broadcast. Let's see what I can get on that. I'm not sure if I'll channel a being on, or I'll do a conscious connection basically and see what we get. And of course, go by what your intuition picks up on it. Also, this is just we're just opening up the rabbit hole for this. It does seem like it will help us in our journey. Basically, if you feel a blockage or any being that feels it's like, what is this doing here? Like, I can't explain this. More of the Martian knowledge will come through eventually. Because some people might, from my feeling is, I think I saw one. Is my energy I'm getting for some. At least in your third eye. So also, no, what I'm connected to is mostly a new energy, meaning new information from what I'm gathering. But earlier, when I picked up Mars, I picked up monster trucks, those Bigfoot trucks, huge technologies, big guns. They like all this big stuff. Just super ego, maybe not all ego, but just bigger is better type of stuff. So I think they see us as kind of like a sissy race in a lot of ways. So just to give an idea of what I'm saying, so give you kind of an idea of what we're up against. So yeah, there was a remote viewer talking about Mars, pyramids on Mars, stuff like that. So yeah, Mars does plays a big role in our evolution. It's come through channelings every once in a while. For a while it's connected to it, then it kind of calmed down. But yeah, a little, but it does seem like I'm going to get a little bit more of a connection through it. It just takes time. All right, we'll see what we get on that in a few moments. So those that are new to all this, we go through this real quick. Oh, come on, internet. What's that? Hello, greetings, those in the chat room. Blessings. This is ivantoler.com. This is private sessions. Right now, this week is closed down due to work, but next week is partially open at this time. So this is the schedule. They have gift cards, easy purchase. There's other directions to go. Is Google Hangouts, Skype, Zoom, and channeling by phone. It's all recorded. You can do whatever you like with it. And this is where I'm stuck on for Wednesday and Saturday. As for, I'm caught up for the most part for this section of the site. There's also an alternative payment if you don't want to go through all the whoops it has here, but it does send you an email to submit your question, so there's no other way around that. There's also Spirit Social. There's one question, submit one question, healing, past life regression, message from Yeshua, 5-minute healing, channeling consulting, and spiritual connections from others. One question from a day, chakra healing from a day, soul painting from Stephanie, angelic Reiki from Miguel. And with this system here, oh wait, oh yeah, I did have that there. See, it has it here. Yeah, you can put details here and then submit. So that's what makes this one a lot different than this one. So, but some people have had issues with this card, so they go over here instead. So this is why I have two. One doesn't work, you can jump over to the other one. So, so yeah, thank you those for supporting the channel. Oh yeah, when I mentioned Martian, that's what I'm talking about. pretty creepy, huh? So that's what I'm getting for now. Not all of them look like that, but some of them, they seem to, yeah, it's nice and nice. Yuck. So it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. Not all of them look like that, as I said, but that's what I get when I connect to Mars. Strange. So this is why I see them hiding their faces. So understand, yeah, whatever you're picking up on is definitely most likely right. A lot of them are seem to be yeah, they're, let's see, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of them here, but yes, they do put a heavy influence here of, as for the Illuminati energies. Mostly what connects to the Illuminati, pick up mostly Anunnaki. Some of them can be Draco combined with Anunnaki. It's a little bit of mix. Not something I connect to very often, but apparently I go to there. And astral, I seem to connect to them. I don't remember anything in astral, but I've had a lot of dreams recently, and right when I wake up, everything goes away. So I know something's going on. Usually I don't remember anything, but recently I feel like stuff happening, but other way, then it kind of disappears. Anyway, so as for at least would, okay, open the channel. Basically, most of it do a conscious connection, or I might zone out and somebody else will come in. But basically, let's see here. Yeah, they had a heavy influence during Atlantis. It did bring technologies. Many of them were friendly in the beginning. Then over time, corruption showed up as some of them felt that humans are weak. And so that's what started some of the wars and started a lot of disconnect with humanity. They worked with the Anunnaki. They even defeated a lot of the Anunnaki from what I see. Yeah, the Martians, you don't mess with them. Anunnaki are not really known as warriors. Some of them are. Now, reptilians are known to be mostly the warriors. So when you have a Martian and reptilian, I do see reptilian winning, but not always. Martians are very they can really take over a reptilian's mind, mental state, and so it's a big influence. So reptilians, it feels like, are mostly afraid of, not afraid, but they don't want to start anything with the Martians, basically. Because I'm seeing like with the Martians, they don't care what happens. It's like when I connect to a Martian's energy that truly wants to win, they don't care what happens to them. It's almost like a kamikaze when they just crash into you. They don't care if they die. Like a suicide mission. It does seem like that is very Martian-like. Not all of them, but if they have to, they will, and they'll sacrifice whoever they have to also to win. If they have to die in the process of it. I don't believe reptilians are like that, so that's what so the Martians can be quite complicated as for war. Now, understand also there's different rankings of Martian. A lot of them are spiritualists. Yeah, well, they have the more advanced Martians have more feminine and masculine. Most Martians are mostly masculine for the most part. They cut out the feminine mostly altogether, not entirely, but quite a bit of it. Even the females have difficulties connecting to the feminine. They have more masculine energies. Not all, but a good amount of it is there. Also picking up elephant beings on Mars, also like human elephants. So that is also a Martian connection. Yeah, definitely humanoid. That was known there too, from what I'm seeing. Tibet like elephant beings. I didn't know Tibet had their own. Well, either way, it's like a that. Okay, I would just go with what came through. It's basically it's like a spiritualist Martian, basically. Um, but most of the Martians on the planet are humanoid. But yeah, their faces are very bizarre looking. Let's put it that way. A lot of them are very muscular, and most of them are in pretty good shape. They don't indulge in food like we do, but also that's a programming that they're using us against us to show us how weak we are or whatever it might be. Um, and we do have Martian DNA too. I believe majority does. But some really have it where they do it kind of bizarre looking. Um, but as for an example of that, I don't have that here. Yeah, some other time. Also, the Naga, the snake beings, half man, half human, half snake. They did manipulate that also greatly. Basically, if any species connects to their world, they're going to manipulate to connect to their customs, basically. Um, their their likeness or whatever it might be, they just have like you're going to be on our planet, you gotta be like us. But they did connect to other aliens for sure, Zetas, Pleiadians, other species, but they were a problem child. Now, I've mentioned this before in the past. There's different of basically what I picked up. Why not one of the reasons why, of course, the different reasons why Mars, was destroyed. What I picked up, it was a small amount of Martian, like the elite, wanted to take over other worlds and really cause some mischief. I mean, really, we're a threat to other planets, and so this was caused the war, which caused Mars being taken out. Basically, I think by mistake. I don't think it was a mission necessarily. Whatever weapon they used on Mars, it really did some damage. As you can see, it took out their, I forgot, atmosphere or whatever what might have been. So some say it was hit by an asteroid belt or whatever it might be, whatever. But that might have been part of it over as because it does seem like Mars got weaker and weaker over time. It wasn't all at once. Like this happened and that happened, and then now you have what you have. So, like I said, it does seem like a lot of Martian information is sacred. I mean, they don't want it out there in the open. Why I'm receiving this a bit, I guess it's part of the awakening process. As you're aware, as more of us awaken to the truth, the higher truths, the more you will get. So this is just like a little bit, but either way, a little bit goes a long way. And I'll go into more connections to this. As I said, this is being downloaded, so funny. I saw giraffe beings on Mars. That's interesting. Sure, why not? um, and quite big turtles too, but not as we see them, but big ones. All right, leave you with that. I'm not sure what the significance of the giraffe is, but either way, could be humanoid giraffe beings there, possibly. I don't see why not. Um, not something we connect to often, but it's a possibility. I'm not getting 100% on that. Well, what the Martians, yeah, when they came to our world, yeah, the ones that don't like us too much, just saw us as a weak race. But also, they saw the reptilians as a weak race too. So, so they do battle it out quite often. I do see the Martians part of. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of Martians did get like kicked out of the elite in some regard, in some ways. They're not welcomed, but it does seem like they are there. They're just not. They're just I don't know. Just they're just not fully. They're doing their own thing. Let's put it that way. Basically, their own agendas. You have the elitists, and then you have others that are doing their own agendas. So one thing for sure, they're not afraid of reptilians for anything. I mean, they battle it out. They just they don't always battle it out. It feels like they're at peace at this time. Well, to a degree, but um, yeah, there's a lot of mind control. But understand, it doesn't seem like it's constantly going on. But um, it does seem like a lot of them use reptilians to carry out their agendas. So, yeah, as I say, David Icke says that reptilians are running everything. Yeah, well, who's running the reptilians? They're not that powerful. I mean, they're powerful, but there's always somebody stronger, some regard. So, like the Anunnaki way I see them is very highly advanced, not very warrior-like, and so they have their disadvantages. But they have their advantages, of course, also. Like, yeah. But as for the Martian energies, as I said, it's there, but very subtle and very quiet. Is this they don't want to make it does seem like they're part of that program of humans on other worlds. They are involved with that, but see, they are part of the Illuminati energies, but they're also disconnected from it. So they're doing their own thing, but there are also part of. It's like we help build we help put you guys where you are, but we can't stand you people, so we're gonna go do our own thing. So it's like they help build the foundation of the elitists, but also they kind of moved on too, but they're still at a higher power. So they're with the Illuminati, but not with it. It seems like they are, but they're not, and they're kind of just, you know, that's what I'm getting on that. But when I say there's not that many, there's been wars throughout our planet for forever, right? So I believe that also had to do between the elite and the current elite and the Martians too. Had something to do with that also. So they've been kind of going after each other for a long time. Doesn't seem like so much anymore, at least from what I'm picking up on. But throughout the history of the world, uh, some of it had to do with mass genocide or genocide of the human race, basically to keep us ill and not thinking correctly. That has a lot to do with the Martian energies too. They just they wanted is what I'm getting from this is like the reptilians want to control humanity. Then you have the Anunnaki wants to control it, and then you have the Martians want to control it. Of course, you have Syrian, yada yada yada. So you have all of that trying to. It's like we know what's best. So you have all that going on. So that's where you have your little, So we're just basically pawns in a, yeah. So we're still a part of it, as you can see. So the idea is to realize where the manipulations are coming from, and to clear it. And it takes time. Yeah, it's complicated. It's a web they don't want you to see through. They don't want you to see what they're doing. They want you to make you think it's all normal, just being depressed or whatever it might be, or being exhausted for that matter. It's all normal. It's all part of the process. We have these urges, yet it's all part of manipulation. It's constant manipulation for sure. But there is a way of seeing it and healing it It's not all the beings at once, but there's certain ones. We're all targeted by somebody that has some issue with us. It's just the way it is. There's also shark beings here too, uh, that are causing difficulties. Of course, you don't see them very often, no, but they're here. Um, Higher dimensional, yeah, yeah. Just got an image of that. So the Martians also have a lot to do with the Atlantean knowledge, not just Anunnaki, but that they want the knowledge. And it does seem like a lot of Martians had a lot to do with. A lot of Martians had to do with the Nazi connection there too. It seems. As for the archaeologist part of it, it does seem like the archaeology part of it seemed to be very Martian related because they were looking for artifacts still. Even the aliens don't always know where everything is, so they use humans to do their bidding also. Seems like that was what the Nazis looking for all of this biblical, powers, looking for Atlantis, so Agartha. That seemed to be Martian influence. Of course, there was other beings involved. It seems very much more Martian. As I say, it's very hidden. It's very their agendas are very quiet. They like the Syrians and probably the Weirans too that don't care much for our society that much. No, yeah, there's the Syrians stay quiet. Weirans are quiet too. Pleiadians a little bit more louder. Uh, Reptilians because they've been seen. Mostly, you don't see Syrians usually, but it is. I've seen negative Arcturians too. Yeah, it's not. They don't like to hear that, but they do exist. Not many of them, but they're feisty. There's not a lot of them, but there is some that just have a problem with us in their own way. So it does seem like a lot of the Martians are looking for Atlantean. Well, they know where it is, they just can't get to it. They want the knowledge from our planet. They're not really showing their agenda at this time. But a lot of it has to do well seeing how their world is no longer in existence and might as well move over here. So they're a problem child basically. It also seems like they have a lot to do with people having when they cross over, they like to influence that and to capture people in that dream state, the astral basically. Once again, they're very quiet about it. Archons, I don't seem to be too worried about them. I would say that Martians are just not much different than the Archons in a lot of ways. But like I said, there's a smaller amount of them. More in our Archons than our Martians here. But their influence, their manipulation is just as strong, or stronger, I would say. It's stronger. No, Archons, from what I pick up on Archons, I see several to be powerful, for strong. One is okay, but several is stronger. With a Martian, you have one Martian and you like 10 Archons, depending on what they're doing. Martians are pretty strong, but as I said, there's more Archons that are problem child than Martians. It's only a small amount of Martian, but it's enough to cause this. They don't need much. Yeah, like with only handful of people to cause chaos here, right? As long as they're in the right spot, and they are. They don't need to be a lot of them to do it. So that shows you how powerful they are. I mean, there could be a handful of them. And I think there's more than that, but the ones that are causing trouble here, there's not that many. Well, there's positive ones here. There's not that many of those too. But there's been slowly been unraveling the truths about their place here. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. Wonder why? Had incarnations on Mars. I think he was a prince at one time. He had everything going for himself, so you can say why he wants to go back to Mars because he wants to go back to that life. He doesn't know why. I don't think he has any understanding of that at all. But he had a positive influence. I also see him as one creating technologies once again to enhance humanity. But then I think he was also during the time of the destruction of Mars also. So he lost that life basically, meaning that all of it kind of shattered and so he's here to rebuild. So he's waiting for Earth to have more technologies as it is now. So he's kind of reconnecting to that life. It's like, why would you want to go to Mars? We're like nowhere near ready for that. But he has like a, I think he's part of the Illuminati energies too. I just picked up on that. I don't think he was fully under their, he's under their influence now. I don't think he was before. I didn't feel it, but I feel like it is now. In some cases, he's influenced by them somehow, either financing his work or whatever it might be. I see it's there somewhere. As for Facebook, that's totally gone. That's a robot anyway. Anyway, um, but with Elon Musk and SpaceX, so he's trying to go back to Mars to go back to that life, you can say, and to continue. He's just a technology guy. He just wants to build stuff, and it's just always been his thing, changing humanity. And we'll see how far that goes. I don't think it's going to go very far, but you never know. Let's see. As I said, the Martians are very. I also see their influence in money and banking, slightly little areas. But like the Black Magician, yeah, the Magician energies I feel very Martian. So as I say, I don't see many of those. I don't feel many of those around. Like there's like the throne room of the Illuminati is. I think it's a guy and a female there. I believe that's Anunnaki. But the magician, they're all magicians too. But the Black Magician that comes to our planet to continue the agenda is very Martian energy there. So, of course, there are others, but there's one in particular. It feels like there's several Black Magicians, but there's one that's definitely a Martian influence. Yeah, it can take over your mind, can put thoughts into your mind, and doesn't really show themselves very much. Does it around bankers, it seems. Bankers, I'm seeing mostly. It just, yeah, go through the money system. It does help bring money to the Black projects, but also control humanity. It has different, yeah. So I see them around the banking systems for the most part. The families that make the decisions, but also I'm seeing around mostly the banking cartel energy. So wherever that might be, Rothschild is more reptilian, and the Queen of England reptilian. Vladimir Putin, I see, is actually more Anunnaki. He has some reptilian, but if it's reptilian, it's Anunnaki reptilian, but not as much as. Yeah, he has a lot of neutral energies. He's been influenced by others, of course, but the Queen of England's way gone, way taken over. So, yeah, Charles Manson died, and I think he's in heaven. I was gonna call this Charles Manson is in heaven in the title, because in the newspaper it says burning in hell. I don't think he's. Man, can the world get more backwards? Don't they know what this world is? This is hell, however you want to depict it. But I think he's in heaven. I think he knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's been mind controlled, CIA. Yeah, but I think he's in heaven. I think he knows what he's doing. But he's going to. I see angel energies around him too. So it's not to say he's a good guy, but I do see a lot of angelic energies around him. So take that. Yeah, we're very third dimension, very programmed, and we're disconnecting from what's truly going on here. So, and that's also, as more people connect more to their spiritual energies, they realize that what the media is depicting is backward. It's completely backward, because I think it was a New York Post or somebody said Manson's burning in hell or something like that. It's like, haven't you seen this world? Do you know what we put up with every day? And now you're going to go to hell after this? Like, You're right. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of angelic energies. I mean, you can say he's a fallen angel. I always thought he was a dark entity, but a fallen angel energy does connect to that too. So, take that how you feel. So, yeah, it does seem like also Hollywood is going through a healing as for all these scandals coming up. Also, Charlie Rose just had to step down, which is fascinating. Seeing the news media get hit by it, that's good. We're going through a healing. I do see also in Hollywood, possibly in our time, more females will get more in power, and it'll bring a balance. You know, and there might be a time where there'll be more females in charge of Hollywood than male. It's a high possibility. I'm not sure if that'll be in our lifetime, but it's a possibility. And once they do that, then they'll go back to more balance. So it's a possibility that more males will be not trusted anymore, and more feminine energies will come in. Whatever it might be, LBGT, it'll be a little bit of everything, but more influence of female will come in, and that will, it's a high possibility. I do see it happening, but I don't know when. I do see that it'll be less. It might not be in our time period, but definitely, yeah, because there'll be more females there for a long time, and then the males will come back. It'll start evening itself out, be more balanced, and possibly in politics too. Eventually, you have to flesh out all the junk first. And where Hollywood's going through a clearing, Wall Street is going to be fascinating. There's so much money there paying people off. Wall Street's a hard one to take to bring out these scandals, but eventually they'll probably. And it's good. It's all part of a healing process, so it's much needed. So it's just, yeah, we're going through a major purge, and it's part of the ascension. And it'll be more, and eventually alien knowledge will become part of our society too. And it'll be, conspiracy. Come on. It'll find a way into our society somehow. And a lot of people are just like, I don't believe this. I believe this. Da 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 da. But it'll find its way in our society. Won't be able to leave. And then they have the angels come in. The spirit world will become more part of our society, possibly in our timeline. Hard to say. Anything's possible. But it does seem like it will be part of our pop culture somehow, some way. It's just it's little by little. So it's all part of the ascension process. It's just, yeah, it's just patience, and we'll find our new world eventually. Let's see. As for the Martian information, well, I think I got into it quite a bit as it is. We'll just leave it with that right now, and I'll go into more if there is anything to go into over time. But it does seem like more of it will find its way into our society. Also, eventually, I'm doing a video about vaccines, maybe this Saturday or Sunday, of what's going on with that. All right, we'll leave you with that. So, all right, take care, everyone. And tomorrow's webinar. So, much love, and have a great night. Take care. I'm tired.